The gunshot that shattered her wedding day still echoed in Sophia Sterling's nightmares, even as the iron wheels of the westbound train clattered beneath her feet 3 months later in the spring of 1878. She stood on the platform at Kansas City, Missouri, clutching a carpetbag that held everything she owned now, watching the locomotive belch steam into the pale morning sky. Behind her lay a grave, a ruined reputation, and a family that had turned their backs on her when she needed them most. Ahead lay only uncertainty, but uncertainty felt safer than the whispers that followed her through the streets of her hometown. She climbed aboard the passenger car with deliberate steps, keeping her head down and her face partially hidden by the brim of her traveling hat. The bruise on her cheekbone had faded to a yellowish shadow, barely visible under the powder she had applied that morning, but the memory of how she got it remained vivid. Her brother-in-law had struck her when she refused to marry him after his brother's death, insisted it was proper, that she owed the family that much after what happened. She had fled that same night with nothing but the clothes on her back and what little money she had hidden away. The train car smelled of coal smoke, sweat, and the lingering scent of someone's breakfast. Sophia found an empty bench near the middle and settled herself by the window, arranging her skirts carefully. The fabric was worn but clean, a deep blue cotton that had seen better days. She had sold her wedding dress to a pawnbroker for train fare, watched him examine the bloodstains on the hem before offering her half what the fabric was worth. She had taken it without argument. As the train lurched into motion, Sophia pressed her forehead against the cool glass and watched Kansas City disappear behind her. She was heading to Georgetown, Colorado, where a distant cousin had once mentioned running a boarding house. Sophia had never met the woman, barely remembered her name from a letter her mother had received years ago, but it was the only connection she had west of the Mississippi. If the cousin turned her away, well, she would find work somewhere. She could sew, could read and write better than most, could keep accounts. Surely someone in a mining town would need those skills. The train picked up speed, and Sophia closed her eyes, trying to calm the flutter of panic in her chest. She was 22 years old and completely alone in the world. Her parents had died of fever when she was 19, leaving her in the care of her elder sister, who had married into the wealthy Thornton family. When Sophia had accepted Marcus Thornton's proposal, everyone said it was a brilliant match. No one mentioned that Marcus drank too much, that his temper turned ugly when he did, that his younger brother Edward watched her with eyes that made her skin crawl. The wedding had been planned for months, a grand affair that would unite two prominent families. But on the morning of the ceremony, Marcus had shown up drunk to the church, ranting about debts and accusations Sophia did not understand. When she tried to calm him, tried to get him to sit down and drink some water, he had shoved her away. His father had intervened, voices rising in the vestibule while guests whispered in the pews. Then the gunshot, loud as thunder in the confined space. Marcus crumpled to the marble floor, blood spreading beneath him, and his father stood with a smoking pistol in his hand. Self-defense, the judge had ruled. The boy had been mad with drink, had attacked his own father. But the whispers start.